Hey guys, this is vlog number 9, and I'm going to talk about finding another lost item for this guy. And I had a tennis shop at Fox Chase Shopping Center. It used to be called Shirley Duke before that, and I think the whole thing's been knocked down and remodeled and everything else. It's like everything else in Alexandria. But I sold. I had a tennis business, and then I sold metal detectors and would buy and trade and different things with that. And I used to buy a lot of used detectors, and I did pretty good on selling used detectors because they were in good shape, and especially like the old White's 5900s, the blue box. And I picked those up for 100, 150 and sell them for 200, 250. But anyway, this one of my customers was he was about 80 years old, and really nice guy named Bill, and he played tennis quite regularly, even though he was 80 years old, and he came into my shop. He comes into my shop, and the look on his face, I thought, oh my God, something's going on. And guy was almost in tears, and he said that the story was is he was an alcoholic when he was young, and at 25 he became so bad that he joined the Alcoholics Anonymous, and over the years he went through I guess they go up in little ranks and stuff, and he ended up becoming the president of AA, and he had been given this ring, and I think it was handed down from presidents or something. I'm not sure, but it was, it was a gigantic ring. I mean, it was, I don't know what carat of gold it was, but it had a huge diamond in it. Um, I'd say the thing weighed over an ounce. Or I don't know. It was just huge. And well, anyway, he said that he was raking leaves, and he was taking stuff, and he was pulling leaves out of the gutters and stuff in his house, and he lost the ring, and he was just distraught. He said he had all the neighbors had come over, and they'd comb the yard, and he said I think it was dropped in the front yard, and so I said, well, yeah, I can come over this afternoon. I get off work about I can get off work about 6 and just come on up. So he said, why don't you wait till tomorrow morning? And it's a Sunday, So I said, yeah, that's cool. So I go up there, and when I got there, there was probably at least 20 neighbors, and so I had a White's Spectrum Eagle, and it was the first digital machine that White's had, and it was a pretty cool machine. It had icons and stuff on the screen, and so he said, I think I dropped it, while I was cleaning out the gutter. So we started there, and I scanned, there wasn't a signal. There was no trash at all. And it was like it wasn't a brand new house, but it was, it been probably maybe 20 years old, but it was just not, there was no nails, no garbage, nothing, and no coins or anything. And so I scanned for about 5 minutes, and I said, nah, there's nothing here. And so I said, where else were you? And he said, well, I was in the backyard, and I was putting leaves in bags out there. And I said, well, that sounds like, let's go back there. And the backyard was the same way. There was no junk in it. So it was funny. I started, started hunting across the yard, and I said, "Well, wait a minute." I said, I think you might have dropped. I said, I don't think you dropped this. I think you pulled it off your hand when you had gloves on. Do you have gloves on?" And he said, "Yeah, I did." And I said, "Whereabouts were you putting the leaves in the bag?" And so he kind of pointed out in the general area. So I said, "Okay." So I'm sweeping toward it, and all of a sudden I get a signal. And I looked at the screen. That gold ring icon was on it. I can't remember what the numbers were on it. So I couldn't see it, but the grass was kind of high. And so I just reached down with my hand and I could feel it. And I said, "Oh my God, this thing is heavy." So I laid the machine on the ground and I just started walking toward him. And I was kind of looking out of the corner of my eye, and all the neighbors were all, their eyes were all big. And so I walk up to the guy and I said, "Hold out your hand," and I dropped it in his hand, and he just burst out crying and grabbed a hold of me and started hugging me. And all the neighbors started, oh, they were yelling and clapping and screaming, and uh, it was amazing. And so anyway, uh, he, after he kind of recovered a bit, he, he wanted to reward me, and give me money or something. And I said, "No," I said, "Just the look on your face, was priceless to me." I said, "I don't do this for money. I said, the only thing I can say is if anybody ever says anything about metal detecting, say they're the best people in the world." But anyway, later on, I guess a couple weeks later, it turned out he was worked with Fort Ward Museum, and I'd been there a few times, and they had nice Civil War books and stuff in there, and he brought me a stack of these books. I mean, he must have brought about 20 of them. I still got them, and I've actually found spots from those books and identified a lot of artifacts and stuff. But I thought that was pretty cool. So it's amazing how nowadays how good these detectors are. When we first started out, they were pretty primitive. So what do you guys think? How you liking my vlogs? And give me some ideas on something else you might want to hear about. All right, guys. You guys have a great day.